Hey there everybody, this is Gary from Constricted and Addicted. Today I'm just going to do a little update video on some of my snakes. A lot of them are in shed, so I really don't like to mess with the snakes while they're in shed. I've actually been bitten by a boa that was in shed, so I've kind of given the snakes the opportunity just to leave alone, do their thing. I know that I've got a couple of them that I've actually taken into kids' classes in shed, but I have read that when they're in shed, they actually can be in discomfort, and that can irritate them a little bit. So I'll go ahead and let them do what they need to do. But this girl right here, she doesn't get a whole lot of camera time, and she's not one of my most interactive boas. This is my Tamaulipas Cloud Forest Boa. She's just a beautiful, beautiful animal. I mean, she is the one boa constrictor that I have that if I would have thought about getting rid of any of them, it would have been her. When she was first came to me, she was young. She was probably less than 4 months old, and she was just real plain. She really didn't have any color to her whatsoever. She really didn't tolerate being handled all that well, and I'm going to say that she probably still does not tolerate being handled all that well. But the way she doesn't tolerate it is she just tries to get away from me. She tries to run. She's pretty good with, touching and interaction, but as far as tolerating being handled, that's what she does. She truly does tolerate it. She'll sit in my hand for a little while. The tongue flicks are nice and long, so I know that she's in a comfortable position, but eventually what she'll like to do is she'll like to just go hand to hand. And then when she starts to do that, it kind of tells me that she doesn't want to be held anymore. But it's getting a lot better. With this snake in particular right here, there was a time when she would not sit in my hand at all like this. She would get into my hand and just go from hand to hand to hand to hand, just in a vain effort really to get away. So she's really turned into a beautiful, beautiful boa constrictor over the last year or better that I have had her. She's got these beautiful orange. This orange is coming in off her belly. I don't know if it's being picked up on the camera. And it really is radiating through her side. So she's definitely getting some beautiful color to her. Her skin color is changing. This is a dwarf boa constrictor. Her maximum length is probably going to be full grown around 4 to 5 feet long. So she's definitely a very manageable boa constrictor for somebody who might be wanting a boa that doesn't get 6 or 7 feet long. With a locality boa constrictor, my experience is that the closer they are to the wild, the more they need to be handled, the more that they need to be worked with. And you might work with them for a long time and they just may never get to that point of being as comfortable as a morph boa constrictor. She is not a morph boa constrictor. She's a locality boa constrictor. But she's definitely, in the time that I've had her, she's really started to calm down and become a joy to handle. But like I said, she's got her moments, and she'll definitely run when she wants to. So this is Roselia, my Tamaulipas Cloud Forest Boa, and definitely she is one of those snakes that I have in my collection that is, I mean, I've really, really come to enjoy this animal. And here is my Hog Island Boa. This is Adrestia. I've had her for a little over a year. She's definitely, I mean, this girl here is extremely tolerant of being handled. She's just been a joy to watch grow up. Her colors have changed dramatically since I got her. She's starting to get a lot of pinks, a lot of orange, and definitely a lot of speckling all over her body. Just really, really incredible colors throughout her body. And then, of course, this tail of hers has just gotten more vibrantly orange as she has aged with me. I mean, this girl right here, I'll sit with her for an hour. We'll just watch movies and she'll crawl up on my hand and she'll basically just sit there, and she's really inquisitive in one spot. She likes to just kind of move her head up and then she'll just sit there for a little bit, and then I'll take some pictures of her and she'll move around a little bit, but she's definitely very tolerant to handling. I've heard some Hog Island boas are a little bit difficult to handle. That hasn't been the story with her. She's just been just a great animal to have in my collection. This was actually, I have a friend of mine that we've actually purchased snakes and then said, by the way, I got you the female. And I believe this is how this snake ended up in my collection. My friend Leanne bought males, or I think she bought 2 female Hog Island boas and said, oh, by the way, one of them's yours. And I did the same thing with a Suriname for her. I went ahead and got the 2 reserved and said, oh, by the way, one of those is yours. So I'm grateful to have someone like that thinks about me enough to think that, hey, this would be a great boa to have in my collection. I don't know that I would have thought about adding a Hog Island boa to my collection, but I tell you what, this girl right here is just definitely an incredible, incredible snake. I have just really grown to love her, her temperament, her colors, just and just watching her change over the last year has been incredible. I'm going to change the light setting on this because it definitely looks to me like she is washed out. That might be better. So I bought a ring light, right? So all of my setup right now is completely different than what it was when I first started doing this. And today, the reason I do this, the reason I put these videos out there is because I enjoy watching other people's videos. And I think, personally, I believe I have a really nice boa collection because 99% of the snakes that I own are boa constrictors. And I really like to show them off. I like to show their progress. I like to show the change that they have as far as, you know, from the first time I get them to a year later to, you know, just the size difference and all that. So I want to know what is a YouTuber used, you know, and I've asked around. And so I went from using my iPhone, which apparently shuts off after it's got too much memory, to now I'm using a GoPro. But I went through a bunch of things. I went through a 4K video camera that I bought that wasn't working very well. And then I went through a Canon T7 Rebel that would shut off every 5 or 10 minutes. And so I just looked around and I finally decided to buy a GoPro. And with the GoPro, it was like I was doing this and the lighting was wrong. You couldn't see me. You couldn't see the snakes. So I started to ask around, what do you guys use for lighting? They said, use a ring light, right? So I bought the ring light. Now it seems like the ring light is washing out the snake's color. So I'm going to go edit this and I'm going to see white snakes and I'm going to be like, you know, but it doesn't matter. It's going to happen. I'm going to post this video up regardless to what it looks like. And eventually I will get this all worked out. And like I said, I do this because I like to show my animals off. There's no way, no dream, no imagination that tells me that someday I'm going to just be able to quit my job and live off YouTube. You know, the reality is that the people that take time out of their day to go to my channel and watch my videos, man, I couldn't ask for anything more. I'm super grateful for that. So I wanted just to, you know, try to up my game a little bit, have clearer videos, and maybe look a little bit like I knew what I was doing. And if I don't, oh well, you know, I still enjoy doing this and showing off the snake. So hopefully changing the spectrum of the light on this thing will help enhance the color that you could see on my Hog Island Boas, because she is really just an incredible, incredible animal. She was produced by Vin Russo, and I just love her to death. So this is Adrestia. The name, if you're wondering, what is Adrestia? So Adrestia is a song on one of our albums. She's a Greek goddess. It's been so long since I researched her, I can't even remember who Adrestia is. This is Adrestia, my Hog Island boa. And we'll do one more snake. We'll get Max in here. Max is not in shed. And Max was also given to me, not given to me, I purchased him, but my friend Leanne had 3 males, and I acquired one of them. And this guy right here, I do a lot of videos with Max. He is just one of the most docile animals I have ever owned. He's just super sweet, I mean, he's like a big lap dog. He'll just sit on your lap while you're watching movies. Max is almost 6 feet long right now. Let me see if I can get a good shot of him. I'll try and get all of them out, but I mean, he is a powerhouse. He's definitely a very large snake. I thought he was about 20 pounds. I weighed him the other day. He's actually only 15 pounds. But I say only 15 pounds. That's a lot of snake. And you carry this guy around, and he can actually, you start to wind. You can start feeling like you're tired. He's a lot of snake to handle, but he's a joy to handle. And I love this dude. I love taking him into like Lowe's. I had this theory one day that I was going to go into Lowe's because you guys bring dogs in, and I figured if they can bring a dog in, then I can bring my snake in. And I was a little scared to do it at first because I don't like confrontation and I don't want to be kicked out of anywhere. So I walked in, and I tell you what, I got more attention and more curiosity from people than anything else. People will walk up to me and say, "Oh my God," and they'd want to touch it. And you get these little kids, and they had their little stories about, snakes that they don't have, and they touch them. And I truly believe that when a child touches a snake, that it kind of changes their life, because it can go either way. You can see a snake, or you can be told about a snake, and it can become a very fearful thing for the rest of your life. Or you can get the opportunity to handle a snake, to touch a snake, and it could definitely change your perspective. I mean, my first experience with a snake was actually quite frightening. My sister had a reticulated python that was, I want to say, probably 12 to 14 feet long. And every time you would walk by her enclosure, it would strike at you. And I wanted nothing to do with that thing, but it intrigued me at the same time. So that's what got me into snakes. I never got to handle or even touch my sister's retic, but my very first snake was a retic. And I honestly don't remember what happened to that snake. I was a kid, and I got into boa constrictors after that, and the rest is history. I mean, I love my boa constrictors. They are my favorite animals. And just to let you guys know, I mean, I do have one ball python that I have in my collection now, and I just purchased a 50% Calatoa Platinum Phantom Super Dwarf. And she's almost paid off. So she'll be here soon. As soon as I get her here, she'll get in the camera. I'm really grateful to Chris over at New Shed Serpents. He's actually working with her for me. I am not the guy that wants to get bit by a snake. I don't care. I am not the guy that's going to hold a snake and see how many times I get tagged. I don't want the stress on the animal. I don't want the stress on me. And you know what? I don't want to be bitten by something that has a mouthful of needles. So, leave that for somebody else's YouTube channel. I'm not going to post anything like that. I would rather have a snake that I can handle, that I can trust, and that I could bring around people, and I can trust that animal probably won't bite anybody. And, I know it happens. It can happen. But, if somebody was to come over to my house right now and say, "Hey, can I handle Max?" I would have absolutely no concern about handing him off to somebody and letting them hold him. He's that good of an animal. And one last thing I'm going to talk about here is I just really want to thank everybody who reached out to me, who wished me well wishes. Doing that video, my last video was my update video of everything that happened in October. And that was a tough video for me to do because it's just basically like sharing myself with you guys. on this YouTube channel. And you know, I got to a point where I just did not want to talk about it at all. And I just felt like it was time to get it out. And just getting it out there, the comments, the love, the support, gratitude doesn't even come close to the how I feel, right? Like you guys really showed me compassion and sympathy and love, and I totally appreciate that. Like I said, I do this because I want to show you guys my animals. I want to show you guys my snakes, and I get a lot more than that in return. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to everybody that commented, that messaged me. You know, I appreciate that. Thank you for taking time out of your day to think about me. And, you know, I'll keep doing this, man. I need to keep doing these videos like this and just keep pushing forward because life goes on, right? And I love my snakes and I love showing them to you. And I appreciate everybody who has subscribed to the channel, who is a current subscriber of the channel. What are you doing back there? I can feel you doing something. I totally appreciate it. So half my collection right now, over half the collection is in shed. I've got my Argentine, I've got Max, and I believe my Tamaulipas were the only snakes right now that weren't in shed. So, or Coconut's not in shed either. No, Coconut's not in shed either. But, so I'm going to leave them alone, let them do their thing. And my next video, hopefully we'll have some snakes with some new skin. So, hey, you guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.